Dr. Ambedkar, in his concluding Constituent Assembly speech, which was in the year November 25, 1949, he said very important thing, and I want to give you just the experts of this so that you understand the essence here. He said that political democracy cannot last unless there is a base of social democracy. All right. He says political democracy cannot last unless there is a base of social democracy. Now, what is social democracy? What is social democracy? Why is this concept important here? You see, social democracy is only basically recognizing that there is a life which is following what? Which is recognizing there is liberty, there is equality, there is fraternity. Is this clear? So when these are taken into consideration, we are talking about social democracy. And when we have social democracy, only then can political democracy last. Liberty, freedom, all right, equality, that is equal treatment, right? Or basically, this is Article 14, equality before law or equal protection of laws. Then fraternity, brotherhood. These are the important concepts which make social democracy, right? We'll discuss all of them in a great manner. This would be, these are some of the also key words of the preamble. You see, this concept of liberty, equality, and fraternity, also find in the preamble. So I'm not going to discuss this in a great detail right now because this is something we'll be coming up with the coming lectures. So for the time being, you need to understand that political democracy cannot last unless there is a base for political democracy, right? So the three principles, that is, there is liberty, there is equality, and there is fraternity. They are not to be treated, very very important, please understand what I'm saying. They are not to be treated as separate items. All right, they are basically, there's a concept of unity here. They are together called the Trinity. All right, is this clear? Why? Because they form a union. Let me clear the page and explain this. Why am I saying that these three principles are not to be understood independent of one another? Because these three principles, they form a union of Trinity. Okay, in that sense, there is no divorce of one from the other. You see, this equality, this liberty, and fraternity. Okay, if one of them goes missing, the other two are going to the other two are also going to lose their importance, right? So these three are equally important. For instance, what am I saying? I'm simply saying that this concept of liberty cannot be divorced from this concept of equality. When I'm talking about the concept of freedom, would freedom make any sense when I'm excluding it from equality? Do you understand? If you see, we are free to do this. And when we are free, for instance, we are free to basically, uh, freedom to, let's say, religion. All right, let's take the example of religion here. So when I'm talking about freedom of religion, okay, that I'm free to choose my own religion, would this make any sense in case there's equality missing? No, right? So that's what the point is. There's no divorce between these three. They're all equally important. So liberty cannot be divorced from equality. This we have already understood. And then the important next concept that you need to understand is that equality, okay, let me change the color. Equality cannot be divorced from fraternity. Equality, that is equal, basically. You see, equality, if the concept of equality is missing, for instance, would brotherhood, would the concept of fraternity make any sense? You understand? So, this is what you need to understand. So, we've taken the example of all the three together. What you need to understand is that liberty and equality and fraternity, there is no divorce between these three, right? These three concepts are together a union of Trinity. They are equally important, all three, and they are representing what? They are representing social democracy, right? So, without equality, if I were to say without equality, liberty, would the concept of fraternity, would the concept of basically brotherhood hold any importance? No, right? I mean, this is basic understanding. You can understand this. So, equality, for instance, equality without liberty. That is, we're all treated equal. That is fine, but we don't have the liberty. We don't have any freedom. So, what would this do? See, you and you, I, A, B, C, D, all of them are equals, right? That's fine. But we do not have any freedom. So, what would we do with that equality? You see, so equality without freedom would basically kill our individual initiative. So, in the same context, you need to understand that even the Supreme Court of India, this is what Ambedkar explained, like, right?